Good morning class, we have completed chapter number 4, structure of an atom. Today we are starting with the exercise solution. Very first question for today is compare the properties of electron, protons and neutrons. So children, already we have learned that how electrons, protons and neutrons they are going to be represented. So here we are starting with electrons, they are represented by small e, protons they are going to be represented by small p and neutrons they are represented by small n. Now charge. What is the charge is they are carrying by that particular? So we can say that electrons are negatively charged. Protons are positively charged. Neutrons are no charge, or we can write that they are neutral for the charge. Now next one is mass. When we talk about the mass of the particular electron, mass of electron is negligible. You can write that it is negligible. AMU, we are talking about the mass in the atomic mass unit, so it is 1 AMU and here also 1 AMU, that means atomic mass unit. Now discovery, who has discovered electron, who has discovered proton and who has discovered the neutron. So we can say that electrons are going to be there, discovered by J.J. Thomson. Protons they are going to be there, represented by E. Goldstein. And neutron that is going to be there, represented by James Taylor. Now where they are located, location of that particular all, where that all are going to be located, so you can write that electrons are going to be located outside the nucleus in the orbit. In the orbit they are continuously rotating. Here you can write that they are inside in the nucleus. Here protons are also there, located inside in the nucleus. So that is all about the comparison of the three subatomic particles, that is electron, proton and neutron. You can copy it, then we'll move to the next question children. Now second question is based on the limitations. Limitations, that means failure. वो fail क्यों हो गया? Thomson's model. Thomson has discovered that electrons, that are the negatively charged electrons, are embedded in the positively charged field. जबकि दूसरे साइंटिस्ट ने प्रूव किया कि नहीं, electrons are they circulating around the nucleus in the orbit. That means they are stay outside of the nucleus, not inside in the positively charged sphere. So that is the limitations of his model, that he said that electrons are embedded in the nucleus, whereas it was proved by other scientists that positively charged protons they are present inside in the positively charged sphere. So you can copy the answer from the board. Then we are moving to the question number 3, that is based on the again limitations of nuclear model of an atom, or we can say that the limitations of Rutherford model of an atom, or we can say that alpha particle scattering experiment. Children, what will answer for this? So what Rutherford said that electrons are there revolving around the nucleus in the orbit. अब जो ऑर्बिट में घूम रहे हैं, with the amount of energy they are revolving, so the particular explanation is which he could not explain by the experiment, that is about the revolution of the electron. He said that whenever electrons are revolving around the nucleus, they have some amount of energy. So why they do not lose the energy and not fall into the nucleus? So whenever they are losing their energy and whenever they fall into the nucleus, they becomes unstable. But we have learned that atom is quite stable. So this is the limitations, or we can say the drawback of his model, that he could not explain that why with amount of energy they are revolving around the nucleus, why they are not falling into the nucleus. So this is the particular answer which I have just wrote on the board, that according to Rutherford, that electrons are revolving in the circular orbit, or we can say the circular path around the nucleus. Any charged particles, that means electrons which are revolved around the nucleus, would lose its energy and finally fall into the nucleus. When you fall into the nucleus, so they are going to become highly unstable. But what we have learned that atoms is going to quite stable. So it is about what? The answer for question number 3. So copy the answer, then we are moving to question number 4. That is based on the Bohr's model of an atom. You can just copy this question from the textbook itself. That is the same. You can write from the textbook about it. So we'll just discuss the question. I'm not going to write that particular answer in the book. Here what we have to write about, you can just draw the schematic diagram which I have drawn on the board. Center part is nucleus, that means very first point you can write that atom as the nucleus which is positively charged sphere. Center of the atom is known as nucleus. Secondly, you can write that electrons are going to revolve around in the nucleus in the orbital, that is K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. Now what they are known as, so third point is whatever the particular electrons are revolving in the circular path with a definite energy, that is known as discrete orbit. So that is the third point for his model. And whenever the electrons are revolving around the nucleus, they do not radiate any energy. That means they do not lose or gain the energy. Energy remain constant. Only it can jump from the lower energy level to the higher energy level. Now next is whatever the orbitals are known as energy levels. That means what you can write over here, K shell. So it is denoted as energy level. N is equal to 1. Here N is equal to 2, then it is L cell. N is equal to 3, then M cell, and N is equal to 4, then M cell. So these are the particular descriptions of Bohr's model of an atom. From the diagram you can write center part of the atom is nucleus, then circular path in which the electrons are revolving, that is known as discrete definite orbit. And whenever we are talking about the energy, they do not radiate any energy, energy remain constant. That energy level is there denoted by N, and when N level is equal to 1, then it is K shell, N is equal to 2, then M cell. That means that orbit are denoted or represented by K, L, M, N, or we can write that N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is about what Bohr's model of an atom. Now we are moving to question number 5 for the comparison of. So we compare all the models. What Thomson has said that very first, that whatever the positively charged sphere, he has said that whatever the sphere is there in which electrons are embedded, that is positively charged sphere. Rutherford has said that whatever the sphere of positive charge, which is known as nucleus, and Bohr has said that around the nucleus electrons are revolving circular path. So it is the very first comparison you can write. So this is the very first. Copied it, then we're moving to next one. Now second we can write that electrons are randomly spread all over the positive sphere. अगर हम थॉमसन मॉडल ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं तो ये थॉमसन मॉडल है जिसमें ये पॉजिटिव चार्ज स्फीयर है. जिसका थर्ड पॉइंट यू कैन राइट अबाउट, ये पॉजिटिवली चार्ज स्फीयर है. सो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर देयर randomly spread, they do not have fixed position. Okay children, what Thomson has said that Rutherford electrons are revolve around the positively charged sphere nucleus, और Bohr ने बोला कि नहीं, they are going to be there revolve around in circular path, and that circular path is known as orbit. So that is the second point. Third point, you can draw the diagram. ये Thomson model का diagram है. Now Rutherford already we have know that how to draw the diagram. Children, you can copy it from the textbook also. The diagram randomly I am drawing over here. This is the diagram which is giving us information about the particular so these are the alpha particles. For this is the center of the atom which is positively charged sphere. You can just that particular are going to be there 180 डिग्री पे वो बाउंस बैक होगी. और बॉल्स का अभी हमने ड्रॉ किया जो कि सेंटर्ड पार्ट दैट इज नोन एज न्यूक्लियस. उसने बोला है कि जो भी अराउंड द न्यूक्लियस व्हाटएवर द सर्कुलर पार्ट दैट इज नोन एज ऑर्बिट, एंड दे आर नोन बाय शेल्स, K shell, L shell, M shell and lastly N shell. So that you can copy from the textbook also. Then थॉमसन मॉडल के लिए फोर्थ पॉइंट आप लिख सकते हो दैट इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज पंप इन पडिंग मॉडल. लूथर्सफॉर्ड के लिए आप लिख सकते हो दैट इज फोर्थ पॉइंट, दैट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज वाटरमेलन मॉडल. इजीली याद रहेगा. ही इज कंपेयर्ड हिज मॉडल विथ वाटरमेलन. हियर यू कैन राइट दैट इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज न्यूक्लियर मॉडल ऑफ एन एटम और alpha particle scattering experiment. And here you can so that you can copy the fourth point. If you are not visible, then you can copy. That is known as watermelon model. Second is alpha particle scattering experiment and Bohr's model of an atom for the orbit. So these are the 4 points which you can write for Bohr's model, comparison of all 3 models. Question number 6 is based on Bohr and Bury rules. Bohr and Bury rules is there for the arrangement of the electrons in the specific orbit, how they are going to be arranged. So we have to follow some rules. So here you can see the rules. Very first rule, the electrons are going to be accommodated. Means maximum number of electrons in a shell is going to be accommodated in the particular orbit by the formula 2n square. Here you can say n is equal to energy level. So if n is equal to 1, then we are denoting that shell with k shell. That means K shell only accommodating 2 electrons. Then n is equal to 2, then L cell 2 into 2 square. So L cell में हमेशा 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन रहेंगे. n is equal to 3, M cell 2 into 3 square, 9 2s are 18. That means M cell containing 18 electrons. n is equal to 4. That means M cell 2 into 4 square, 4 4s are 16, 2s are 32 electrons. That means that is the very first rule by which we can fill the electrons in K shell, L cell, M cell and N cell. K shell में 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन रह रहे हैं, L में 8, M 18 and N 32. The very next rule is the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit, that means very last orbit, that is always equal to 8. 8 से ज़्यादा electrons आप outermost orbit में free fill करोगे नहीं. And last point is electrons are going to be filled in the orbit in stepwise manner. That means they are moving from K to L cell, L to M cell and N to N cell. You cannot fill the electron in L cell first or M cell first. You have to just move with stepwise manner, K to L, L to M and M to N. So that is the rules. That is also known as Bohr and Bury rule. That is very important question. So if you want to copy, then you copy this particular question. Then we are moving to the next question number 7 based on valency. This is the particular question based on valency. Already we have learned that combining capacity of the atom is known as valency. I have put on the board. That means either electrons lose or they are gained from the outermost orbit to become stable. अब स्टेबल किसके जैसे होंगे? वो नोबेल गैसेज जैसे. हमारे पास नोबेल गैसेज 1 to 20 एलिमेंट्स में हीलियम, नियॉन एंड आर्गन 3 हैं. अगर हम फर्स्ट 1 to 20 एलिमेंट्स लेते हैं तो हीलियम है, नियॉन है, आर्गन. अब वो क्या करेंगे? इधर दे आर गेनिंग और लूजिंग द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स टू बिकम स्टेबल लाइक इधर हीलियम और नियॉन और आर्गन. पहला देखते हैं सिलिकॉन. सिलिकॉन Z क्या बताता है? एटॉमिक नंबर. तो कितना है? 14. Now we just have the relation between Z and E. That means atomic number is always equal to number of proton and number of electron. So E is equal to 14. So now this is the distribution of electrons. K shell always containing 2, more than 2, accommodating L cell 8 and 4. That means argon जैसे बनने के लिए उसे when we talk about the argon is having a stable configuration 2 8 8. उसे 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन बनाने हैं तो उसको more it require more 4 electrons. It gain 4 electrons. So valency of silicon is 4. In same manner when we talked about oxygen has electron number of atomic number is 8. That means number of electron is also 8. So 2 6. अब now oxygen becomes like neon. Neon is equal to 10. So उसमें जो distribution of electron है वो है 2 8. अब यहाँ पे कितना है 6. That means 6 plus 2 that will becomes equal to 8. So it gained 2 electrons. It required 2 more electrons in the last orbit L. So its valency is 2. So that is the question based on the valency. You can copy it and then we are moving to the next question number 8, that is definition for the particular atomic number. So now when we talk about the next question, that is we have to define 4 terms. First term is atomic number, second is mass number, third is isotopes and fourth is isobar. So children, when we talk about atomic number is denoted by capital Z. It is equal to the number of proton. Example अगर ले रहे हैं हम लोग कार्बन, so atomic number of carbon is 6. That means you can write that Z is equal to 6. So you can say that number of proton in carbon is equal to 6. Now mass number is denoted by capital A. It is equal to the sum of the number of protons and neutrons. That means you can apply the formula capital A is equal to N plus P. So carbon, when we talk about the calculation for the mass number of carbon, so that is A is equal to number of proton 6 and number of neutron is also 6. So you can write that A is equal to 12. Now it is defined and it is having unit, that is 12 U. U is indicating unified mass. So that is about the 2 terms. Now the next term is isotopes and the very next is isobar. So third one is isotopes. These are those elements having same atomic number but different mass number. That means they have Z is same, A is different. यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल मैंने दिया हाइड्रोजन. हाइड्रोजन is carrying 3 isotopes H11. One is the atomic number, one is the mass number, that is known as protium. H12, one is atomic number Za, that is equal to 2, that is mass number deuterium, and H13, 3 is the mass number which is different, so that is tritium. So elements which are having same atomic number but different mass number, they are known as isotopes. Now isobars, iso that means same, bar means weight. That means those elements which are having same mass number but different atomic number. Calcium 2040 and argon 1840 are isobars of each other. You can see here atomic number Z is different for calcium and argon, but mass number of calcium and argon remains same, and that is 40. So that is about isotopes and isobars. Now we will learn about the very last question for today. Question number 9. This is the last question for today. Na plus sodium ion has completely filled K and L shell. You have to explain. So what we are doing is sodium. Sodium has the symbol that is Na from the Latin word natrium, and atomic number of sodium Z is equal to 11. It means इसमें electron भी कितने होंगे 11. So how we are just going to distribute the electron. So in K shell you have 2 electron, L shell you have 8 electron, and M shell you have 1 electron. Now to become stable like neon, neon में electronic configuration है 2 and 8. तो सोडियम क्या करेगा? सोडियम lose 1 electron from the outermost N cell and becomes stable like neon, and so it becomes Na plus ion. So it has completely filled K shell as well as L shell. It is with 2 and 8 electrons respectively. So that is all about today. In the next particular we are starting with question number 10 to 18 onwards. Children, please kindly copy these question answer in the notebook for your mid-term exams. PDF I will send soon for the notes as well as for the exercise. Thank you.